Hey guys, welcome to my next video. Today we're going to go over my blog post highlighting using 5 different methods. It was my very first blog post and still to this day one of my most popular blog posts. And we're doing that because today is the 2-year anniversary of when I first posted on my blog. So we're going to go over these live in case you didn't want to read or go through my really awesome screenshots and GIFs that I made. Personally, I would look through all of these, but I'm a little biased. So I'm going to keep this open off to the side. And I'm going to use this example sheet here, and we're going to go over these highlighting methods. The first thing I want to say about highlighting is the most obvious way to highlight is to use this highlighting tool. And keyboard shortcut H, where it looks like a little highlighter. I know a lot of people use this, but let's see if I can get it to do it. You sometimes try to highlight, and it just kind of grabs random lots of stuff, which is not ideal. So I'm going to show you 5 methods that will help you not do that. And if you want to turn it off, I'll go over that real quick. You come up to Review, Preferences, then you go to Window and Tablet. Every time I look for this, I never look for it here. And there's been times I've even had to go to my own website to remember where it is. So Window, Tablet, and this Enable Text Highlighting. You can see it's checked right now. If you uncheck it, the highlighter will never try to grab text. And there are ways around that if you still want it to. So if you want to turn this off, go ahead. And I'm going to teach you some methods to get it back and highlight just what you want. However, if you do want to keep it checked, and sometimes you don't want it to grab the text, let's grab the highlighter tool. And you'll see it looks like a little highlighter icon, my cursor. And if I get too close to the text, it changes the icon of my cursor. And that means it's going to try to grab this text that's right here. And that may or may not always be what I want it to do. So if you want to force it to not grab the text, Bluebeam has a couple of kind of magic keys, keyboard shortcuts, and those are Control and Shift and Alt. And various combinations of those things will do different things. But right now I'm going to hold down Alt, or hold down Control, and you can see as I'm hovering over this text, the cursor isn't changing anymore. And as I come away, if I release Control, now the cursor changes again. So if you don't want to grab the text, you can hold down Control and just highlight. And you can freeform highlight like this. If you want it to be a little bit more streamlined or a little bit more perfect, you can still hold down Control, but now hold down the other magic keyboard shortcut, Shift, and you can see that when I highlight, it will do it in perfect orthogonal directions. So if I want to highlight this text, I can just hold down Shift and Control at the same time, and now this is essentially a markup. So that can be good or bad depending on what you want. If you don't want this to be able to move around, then you do want it to stick to the text, because you'll notice this one I can't move, but this one I can. Because this one, I let it stick to the text instead of holding Control. This is not a freeform, this is actually highlighting the text. A benefit to this, other than not being able to move the highlight, is if I come into the markups list, you can see that the value that I've highlighted shows up in the comments. And this can be really useful. I use it in my code books. If I want to, I'll highlight specific chapter or section names. I'll highlight tables that are important that I use a lot. And then I'll color code them depending on what they are. Like tables are one color and like chapters are another color. And then I can just bring up the markup list and sort by color, and I can find the tables or the chapters that I'm looking for because that text automatically appears. So depending on what functionality you want it to have. Another way to highlight text without using the highlighter tool first is you can come down here to the select text tool, keyboard shortcut Shift T, or you can click the button down here on the bottom. And this has a similar functionality to the highlighting tool, that when I'm not near the text, you can see my cursor has a little dashed square around it, but as I approach the text, that cursor icon changes. And that means that it's going to try to grab the text. And a lot of times this will have the same problem where you like highlight, oh, it's working okay. Oh, no, it didn't. See, look at it, it's highlighting all this stuff. You don't necessarily want that. So you can force it to grab only certain text by, again, holding Control. And now see, I'm holding Control right now, and you can see when I move my cursor towards the text, it's not changing. Whereas now it's changing because I'm not holding Control. So I'm going to hold Control, and I can click and drag around the text that I want to highlight, and you can see that it very easily highlighted only that text that was in the box and nothing else. And then I can right click, highlight selected text. I have it down here in my comments, and you can see it's stuck to the text, and I didn't have to use the highlight tool. I had a lot of control over what I highlighted. Another way to highlight text is you can actually search for it. So let's search for SF, for square feet. And you can see when I click on these, it's taking me around to all the square footages in the document. Let's say for whatever reason I want to highlight these. I can highlight one at a time by right-clicking on the search result and clicking highlight. And there it is. Again, it's stuck to the text and will show up in the comments. If I want to highlight them all, I can click the first one, hold down Shift, click the last one to select all of the results in between, right-click, highlight, and now they're all highlighted. So that's a quick and easy way to highlight text. In particular, I wanted to show you an example of when I do this with a couple non-highlighting bonus tips in here. So I have this truss plan here, and it's actually a huge document with all my truss sheets in there. It's actually a relatively small truss shop package. I'm going to right-click Split Vertical, and then let's see. Nope. We're going to use this one right here. So let's say I'm coming through and I'm checking these truss shop drawings. I might take this one and I can click and drag this, and I can put this on another screen. I have two monitors, so I can put that off screen. Or for the purposes of this video, I'm going to keep it here. So I'll be checking this truss shop drawing, and I want to know where F1 is. So a trick for finding text in a document, or F01, I'm going to come down to my select text again. I'm going to hold Control and click and drag a rectangle around that. So now the truss name is highlighted. I'm going to hit Control F, and what I've have highlighted is automatically showing up in the search box. So I don't have to guess if that's a 0 or a 1 or a O, like the letter O or the number 0. It just copied exactly what it is, and I can click search. I'm going to come over here because this is the same document, but I'm going to click on the truss plan to make it active, and I'm going to say I want to search this current page because there's actually 4 levels, but I'm only checking level 1 right now. I'm going to click search. And now it's found F1 everywhere, or F01. These are F01. Let me bring this out a little bit. Let's do whole words only. There we go. So now it's found where this particular truss happens on this plan. And I've looked at these, I've checked this particular sheet, everything looks good. I'm going to click the first one, hold Shift, click the last one, right click, highlight, and now I know that those are checked, and I can move on to F02. And I would go through this, and it's a really easy way to highlight and know what you've done when you're checking these shop drawings that have a lot going on. It's an easy way to search, it's an easy way to highlight and not retrace your steps. Moving back over here, the one last method I'm going to talk about, let me make sure, yes, is using enclosed shapes. So the polygon, the ellipse, this rectangle, any of these enclosed shapes that are not text, but just a polygon of some kind. If you give them a fill color, so I'm going to come up here to my fill color and we're going to change it to yellow. They have a highlight button right here, and so I can click highlight and it'll highlight whatever behind it. So if I want to highlight an entire area, that's a quick way to do that. And you can just change the line thickness to 0. That'll get rid of that red line around it. And that's a super easy way to highlight certain areas. It works with the Cloud Plus. Like I said, it doesn't work with text boxes. Although I've requested that as a feature. If you would also like to request that as a feature, they might apply it. So those are my methods for highlighting. If you guys have any more, leave them in the comments. I suppose I have to do the obligatory like and subscribe, but I'm gonna try to do more videos. So yeah, maybe subscribe and see if I do more videos. I'll be going through my old blog posts and making videos for them. So stay tuned for that. I'll put them on my blog and I'll put them on my YouTube channel. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.